Hey everybody, Travis Saxton, Executive Vice President of Technology here at T360. I'm here with Shayan Hamidi from Rechat, CEO of Rechat. Shayan, we're going to have some fun today. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of real estate technology. We're going to go back just a couple years, but then we're also going to look over the horizon. And so thank you for being here with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Excited to talk to you.
So first and foremost, about 5 years ago, a bunch of big name technology companies came onto the scene and real estate companies. We had Redfin, EXP, Compass, maybe even dating 7 years ago, somewhere in that range. And it really caused a really visceral reaction in the market by the brokerages. And they started to go out and try to check a bunch of boxes to be able to compete with those folks. And so they would buy enterprise platforms thinking there was one size that fits all. And really now we got ourselves into a little bit of a pickle because adoption is pretty low with real estate technology. And the answer is now, or I should say the pendulum is now shifting back to the other side. So 5 years later, we are. We got brokers with poor adoption of their platforms. We've got a bunch of I guess commoditization, or everybody's got a lot of the same platforms, and there's not enough choice or premium options in the market. Until now, of course, with Rechat. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that history and why that's a problem, but really talk to us about this notion of a new super app for real estate. So the average brokerage uses 12.4 real estate technology tools. That, as you're aware, is 12 tools that you have to train on, support on, educate, and it's 12 different interfaces as well. So that creates a challenge in real estate. I was lucky enough to do an audit on Briggs Freeman's technology stack here, Sotheby's brokerage, very recently, and we were very impressed with how the adoption was, how the platform worked, how we were able to reduce and cut down some of the disparate tools that were needed to make their tech stack go. And so that really got me leaning in, and I said, who is this Rechat company? We ended up getting to know each other. So talk to us a little bit about, let's go to the super app and give us some background on that, and then we'll go from there to some cool features.
Yeah, no, totally. First of all, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here with you, Travis, and I appreciate the kind words. So I think when you look at the history, I think you're right on, right? So what we saw happening is that there was a series of apps, tons of apps coming out, right? This is like going back 5 years ago. And there was a saying that there's an app for everything, right? And when there's too many apps, too many tools, too many technologies, it's not easy to use anymore. It's complicated. So it's as much as I'm tech-based and technology kind of, that's my background, but technology can help or it could hinder, right? It could make things more complicated or it could make things simpler. So when you look at real estate and the real estate transaction, it's pretty complicated. What agents do, whether it's appreciated or not from a third party outside, it's pretty complicated. There's tons of marketing involved. There's a lot of moving pieces, right? So now, when you look at this over time, there's been a lot of different products built that help you to address specific solutions, right?
Yep.
And I think to your point, what happened is there's a few moving factors here, right? First, you had the Compasses of the world. You had the Redfins, the Open Doors of the world. And what they did is that they proved that by using technology, you could potentially introduce better marketing. You could potentially introduce efficiencies. You could, you can get agents to produce better, the sort of things that we care about here, right? So that message was strong.
Yeah, the rise of the point solution.
Exactly.
And that had brokers going, I have this narrow application or narrow need in my brokerage, and it might be a top agent or a manager. Someone rolls into the office and is like, I need this. And we're basically saying, take a step back, take a deep breath. First of all, you may not need that. Something might be on fire in one place,
right?
And it might be causing issues in another place.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, like what really attracted us to what your process at T360 and what you were doing with your clients was you were analyzing the entire funnel, right? It's a tech stack, right? It's not a point to solution. And I think the first thing that you brought to the table on that conversation is like, let's take a step back. I do think a lot of brokers are looking through the woods, right? We need to take a 50,000 foot view and look down and understand what's involved in the whole process and then find the solutions or a solution that can address that, right? So anyway, so what's happening right now is that, as you mentioned, 12 and a half products. I've spoken with brokers that have 60, 70 products within the brokerage.
Yeah.
You cannot train folks on it. You can't onboard people on it. You can't be paying 70 companies, right? It gets extremely complicated, and all the information is all over the place. Rekey here, rekey there, over and over. So you mentioned super app, which is the topic we're pushing here, and kind of like the category that we are in right now, which is somewhat new to real estate, but not as new to other industries. So if you look at, if you want to start an e-commerce site right now, you go to a company called Shopify. They're amazing, and they offer you all the different modules you need along the way. So you're not required
in a box.
In a box, you got it, right? So you don't have to buy 20 different products. It's the same thing with real estate. So what we've done is with the super app, we said, what are all the agent tools that are really important to help them do their work and offer the experience? So we have marketing center, we have a sales center, and we have a transaction center. Each of those have a series of products built and working nicely with each other to do the work that streamlines it in that sense.
Well, let's take a tour of the super app. And while you're pulling that up, I think there's a big opportunity here. You mentioned, multiple products, and I want to talk a minute about this notion of always trying to strive for a bunch of different tools because someone needs something, when really the efficiencies that are created by having this super app and things working together. So a couple of examples might be like, you just showed me, your business card scanner that automatically takes in the contact information and then sends it into your CRM, or your digital business card on more on the push side, getting somebody your information so that they know to call you. Those are classic examples of an integrated app. And that app alone, there's products on the market that there's like a little, $1 million or $2 million app that's literally doing just that piece, but you've got it all built in. So from a categorical perspective, we've got CRM-like functionality, we've got marketing functionality, we've got design functionality, transaction functionality, and then with all of these integrated tools and the data that you have, you've got the ability to really put your marketing on autopilot, or I should say on steroids, so that your super app really does it all.
Yeah, so I think one of the most important things, so as you said, I'm just going to take you through like a quick tour here, right? So you want your phone, first of all, agents are on the go, right? So you want your phone to do the work. You don't want to be back in the office to do that. That's 1990.
I always say agents don't want a CRM. They want the byproducts of the CRM.
Yeah.
They want the CRM to work for them, make them smarter, and they really want to look good. And they can't do that when they have to go back to their office and do data management.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, like there's an old saying that we all have a drill at home, but we never really need a drill. All we need is a hole in the wall, right? So we buy the drill for that. So nobody really needs a CRM. What they really need is to be on top of their relationship, to be in touch with their people, to be able to create awesome collaterals for them. So if you have a system so what we did in this case, and so some of the products too, is we integrate with their MLS system or listing service provider. We put in a lot of the data. So everything is automated. Like I'm going to go through this example. I pick a listing. Immediately, there's endless number of collaterals that are automatically updated for that particular listing. Now, if I want to, you go to some products, they have a design kind of center, then you have everything here. So with one click, I can edit this and I can share this on the fly, right? So again, this typically takes 4 or 5 different apps. Create it, download it, upload it again, share it again, schedule it, right? So when you tie all of that, I'm going to jump over here. I'll give you an example. So I have all my listing data here. Very easy to just drill down. Kind of get a sense of what's in the market, share this with my clients, save searches. My transactions are all here. Super easy to track all of that, my paperwork. So it's all in one app, literally, that you can have your team on and your clients on.
That's awesome. I mean, truly a super app. There are like you just showed me a couple different pieces that are 3 or 4 different apps. We didn't even talk about CRM or transaction management or anything like that. And you have all of that too. Let's go to video, because we've been talking for 15 years in this industry about video. You should be doing video, and agents will go out and buy something or download an app. They'll use it for a tiny bit, but again, it's not integrated. It doesn't have the MLS data in there and stuff like that. So you finally cracked that code at Rechat. So take us through a little tour of how video can be weaponized within Rechat.
Love that word, weaponized. And, and it really is weaponizing your phone to be a sales machine. So video is the new photo, right? That's what people consume. That's what we all consume. TikTok, Instagram stories, reel. That's the way to market yourself, market your content, right? And to us, we look at agents as content creators, right? And us, all we think about is how do we help them make that super easy, make it in a way that you can do it on the go, but it's high quality. So I'll give you an example of what we've done here with the video. So let's say I'm here. I have a video clip, and we have a few video products, but this one's pretty cool. So while you're here, I can shoot a video, right? I can shoot a video like this, and then I can have something from Travis here, right? But what's really awesome is that now if I go back and, I can come here and you have this notion of stickers. And now this is made for real estate, right? Again, just taking steps out. We're not looking for rocket science, although, whatever is behind it, forget about that, but it makes it easy. So let's say, I select this, super simple. I can edit these on the fly, as in, on the go, right? Mm-hmm. Just meeting Travis, right? So just say meeting, whatever. So super easy. And then the beauty of it is that you have music, so you can select whatever you want. Tons of great options here, right? So on the fly, I'm doing all this stuff, and then you create it, you shoot a video like this, and then here, right? So, so you can do all of that, save it. So the whole point is, one of the things I actually want to show you as well, let's say I'm doing so there's about 6 or 7 videos that you want to nail as an agent, right? Yeah. You want to do home tours really well, whether you're doing it professionally to sell your home, or you have a buyer that's, in a different kind of area, you want to showcase it to them. You want to do personality brand stuff, whether it's testimonial, whether it's, showcasing the neighborhood. You want to showcase your what you know. People need to know you, trust you, and like you to buy from you. Video is the way to do it, right? Sure, so let's say I'm doing a listing here. If I go to stickers, now what's really awesome is that if I go here, this is connected to look at that. It's connected to all my listings. It's connected to the MLS system. So I can literally pick anything. Let's say I pick this listing. On the fly, it just created all these stickers for that particular listing, right? Yeah. So as I'm doing a walkthrough, I can do something a lot more professional. Just like that, I select it. I can change the size. I can move it around just like that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, but the point is, like, once you do this, it's super quick. You save it, and now you share it. Then the insights come in. Then you can do a follow-up. Again, but going back to the bigger point, is just like, getting all those pieces together so you don't go through 5, 6 different apps together.
I mean, an agent to do this right now is downloading a separate app. They're manually uploading, even if they can even get that quality of production that you did there, they're manually uploading a JPEG or something into the app. It's just a ton of work that's really inaccessible for the agent that's busy, that's out on the street, that is meeting face to face with clients. And so having everything in the palm of your hand, that term super app is really a category of its own. There is nothing that exists like that in real estate. There are responsive websites and enterprise platforms and stuff like that. But again, I think you need to do what you just showed, 7 or 8, at least 8 different apps. And that's why we've gotten into this situation in real estate with so many disparate tools. So as you look over the horizon, what do you see in the next couple of years as far as where are brokers going to go with their strategies and technologies?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I do think that a lot of what we're seeing now is more of being able to what we call is reactionary, right? Mm-hmm. So you pointed, there's a wave that came into the industry, the compasses of the world, right? Mm-hmm. And whether there's a lot of merit to what they brought to the industry or not, I think they changed the narrative. They changed the focus, right? So everybody's thinking that, what is our technology play? What can we do here? Which is a very important question to answer, regardless of what happens, right? So I think now folks have done a few years of that. They've been very reactionary on that front. And now they're going back and taking a look at their stack and realizing there's a lot of gaps in here, right? So I do think as folks are becoming more sophisticated, brokers, agents, usability will become important. Simplicity has become important. Agents are just like consumers, right? Like they need things to be mobile. They need things to be fast. as an agent, honestly, and from my experience, my expectations set via my clients. If they need me to be responsive, I need to be responsive. If they need things to be shared, if I get a listing and they expect me to create a video for them and a property website, I need that. Yeah. Otherwise, I can't compete at that caliber. So anyway, so to answer your question, I think what we'll see in the next coming years is actually a lot of brokers becoming smarter about what they need to do, taking a more holistic approach to it. And also realizing that, deciding what business they're in, right? Are you in the business of technology and you want to go and spend millions of dollars, hire engineers and connect these tools? Is that really your strength and what you bring to the market? Or is your strength marketing, branding, understanding real estate, but also being smart enough to work with the right partners to bring the technology?
Yeah, and you were kind enough to compliment us on our trends report that you just got in the mail. Yeah. And the trends report came out, had a chapter in there about the brokerage profile and how each brokerage is actually different. And the problem is we've lumped them all together because they're a brokerage in general in our industry, and that's not the case. We've actually been analyzing 4 brokerages just in the last week alone, and they are all different. They all have different resources, different team consistency. They have different brand presence and different technology tools and appetite for each of these things. So in that chapter, we talk about the continuums that these brokerages are on, and no 2 brokerages are the same. And so having technology that feels custom, that is, you have the ability to make your own and allow the individuality or the team, the team presence there. Those are the kinds of things that we're going to start to see a lot in the next couple of years in real estate. And so I think your super app is really positioned well because you've got all of those integrated tools, but at the same time, flexibility and individuality is going to be very important.
Huge. It's interesting you say that because individuality and uniqueness is what drives real estate, right? For agents, any broker you talk to, when they're recruiting you, when they're selling themselves, they're talking about how they're unique from the other guy, how they're different. When it came to technology, I think we all lost that, hey, you could still maintain your uniqueness. You could still have a differentiated offering, but still have really good technology. So folks that really wanted to stay true to being themselves, unfortunately, they went in a completely different direction, building out a lot of tools, spending a lot of money on products that are not being maintained, are not being developed, are not being invested over time. So they're having a tough time doing it on their own. So now, build it yourself is not really working. I think the message is resonating with the industry. And the folks that have gone with some of the other products historically, it's the same, what we call it the vanilla, that everybody at the end of the day, it's the same thing that you have. Not only it's not mobile, it's not friendly, it's not all integrated, but it's also the same thing. There's really not much to differentiate yourself by. So I think your point is super valid. And the newer modern products will give you that, right? You can have a lot more customization built into it without having to do a lot of heavy lifting yourself in a sense.
Yeah, so to wrap, Shayan, premium super app, cutting edge tools. The video one was just a micro example. That thing's riddled with cutting edge tools in this super app. And you really can cut down on a lot of the solutions that you use, but you're doing it in a very kind of premium fashion. So thank you for having us here in Dallas at your office. And we wish you the best with Rechat.
Thank you. Really appreciate it, Travis. Thanks so much. This was great.